Greetings, Miss Celia Rivenbark. Here's the headline title: Celia Rivenbark. Sound of Freedom tickets help the filmmakers, not the victims. This article was written by Celia Rivenbark and published by Yahoo on July 29th, 2023. I don't want to beat around the bush, so let me dive right into your article and tell you exactly how I feel. My apologies for the lengthiness of this letter, but I do not apologize for its content. I want to start out by saying I managed to stomach through this nauseating ramble of pure leftist insanity served up among your peers you're most comfortable around. That would be the fake news media. Not to mention, I had trouble understanding some of your points because they were so infantile and immature of an adult who should be a little more empathetic and understanding of a subject so sensitive and heart-wrenching. Needless to say, this is what you get when you're dealing with the left. The left loves to boast that they are most tolerant and inclusive and exude love. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Simply disagree with the left and here comes the swearing, unreasoning, vicious assaults, and uncontrollable anger. All logic goes out the window, as if they are driven by a demonic spirit just because of a difference of opinion. Here's a recent example. My own blood relative threatened to punch me in the face for a conversation about our black race. My relative and I are both edging closer to our 60s, and he's threatening to assault me because of a conversation. How childish. He was unwilling to have dialogue, but would rather resort to violence because he didn't have an argument and realized my doctrine of truth is undeniable and indisputable. And since they did not see fit to acknowledge God or consider him worth knowing as their creator, God gave them over to a depraved mind to do those things which are improper and repulsive. That's Romans 1:28. The Bible also tells us the love of many shall grow cold. This is just one of the many clear prophecies that the Bible is true. Yes, the movie was completed in 2018, but it was shelved by Disney after they acquired 20th Century Fox. Why is this? Yes, it's true. They did have major obstacles to go through when Disney dropped the rights after acquiring 20th Century Fox. Again, why? Was Disney's CEOs Bob Chapek and Bob Iger on the Epstein Island's flight list that the corrupt three-letter agencies refused to release to the public? Or is it one of your peers on that flight list? Which would give reason of why you would attack a poignant humanitarian film that says God's children are not for sale. Here is a quote from your article, and I quote, "I probably won't see the film. I'm not saying the movie is bad. Remember, I haven't seen it. What I am saying is too many of the people gushing about it on social media are fans of Trump, QAnon, and RF Crackpot Jr." End quote. First, let's deal with QAnon. There is no such thing as QAnon. It's called the Q, and the Anons that follow are given questions to think about and to do research for themselves, other than relying on the media incapable of telling the truth. Secondly, these atrocities are a global pandemic and should bring us all together in the interest of our children. It should cross all political party lines, whether you are right-leaning or left-leaning, Republican or Democrat, independent, libertarian or humanitarian, for climate change or against climate change. Ms. Rivenbark, why are we divided on this issue? Why is the fake news media calling it a conspiracy theory and a right-winged conservative and MAGA-endorsed film? Recently, there was a CNN producer that got caught luring a 9-year-old. Are there other incidents like this in the media? If so, that would explain the demonization of this film in hopes to discourage the world from seeing it. Why did the propaganda machine we call the media discredit Pizzagate and make a mockery of adrenochrome without doing an in-depth investigation? And why does big tech censor anyone exposing it? Okay, I'll answer it for you. because it seems the leftist liberals are without brain cells to think for themselves to draw a reasonably educated conclusion. There is a criminal syndicate running this country, Mrs. Rivenbark, and everyone's a part of the crime family. There's a two-tier justice system that allows criminals to run amok because we have sheep who are either too dumb to think for themselves, too lazy, or unwilling to search for the truth. Therefore, the dumb sheep will fight against those who are awake instead of the criminals of this world. While law-abiding, conservative, Christian patriots are criminalized, doxxed, demonetized, arrested, and violently assaulted by the criminal syndicate and their minions released by the corrupt DAs across the country to do their biddings. Just ask the NAACP, who are now whining about the crimes in their cities, especially in the Black communities, and that defunding the police was not such a good idea after all. I could have written this letter to anyone in the lying stream media who has spoken ill will about this movie. Howbeit, Mrs. Rivenbark, you received the luck of the draw and is bearing the brunt of my displeasure of your remarks, because it was the final straw of your article that disgusted me. In other words, I had enough of the bashing of a movie just trying to expose an evil pandemic around the world, a film made to protect our children. So apparently you have to make a movie that supports feminism and the alphabet mafia to get a rave review from the lunatics in the mainstream media. By the way, thank you, Jason Whitlock, for the term alphabet mafia. It's easier to remember and pronounce, because by tomorrow, another letter may be added. Probably the letter P, if you get my drift. Mrs. Rivenbark, I cannot wrap my mind around the fact that you would recommend seeing the movie Barbie over a movie exposing crimes against humanity. This is an indictment against the film. This isn't comparing apples to apples, and there should be an open apology since you recklessly made such a dreadful statement openly. I left the movie in tears, not only from what the children have to endure, but also there are others just like you that allow such frivolous things and a difference of ideology to get in the way of a powerful message to alarm the masses of these sick minds profiting and taking part in this wicked endorsement from hell itself. Here are a couple of quotes from an all-time best-selling book that is most revered and most hated, the Holy Bible. Luke 17:2. It were better for him that a millstone were hang about his neck, and he cast into the sea, than that he should offend one of these little ones. Romans 1:32. Who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only those who do the same, but take pleasure in them that do them. Put simply, God will judge the wickedness of mankind, and everyone will have to give an account for what they do on earth, whether it be good or evil. In conclusion, I believe God didn't allow this movie to come about before the scamdemic, because so many people were still asleep in the blue-pilled induced matrix coma. It took a gut check to see the way the virus was handled and the decline of our nation to be appreciated and have the impact Sound of Freedom is having today. God's timing is always perfect. Mrs. Rivenbark, God's children are not for sale. May God bless America. My name is Hassan, aka Sonny B. I write to fight. 1776, rewind. You can find us on most social media sites at 1776 Rewind. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that notification bell to receive future content. Video pop-ups of my past videos are there for your viewing. Also, the link for my book titled 1776 Rewind, The Great Awakening is Revolutionary is down below in the description box. Thank you for your support.